Hey everyone, welcome to session. Let's sit down, check our vibration, see where you're at as we're going through this shift. If you've noticed, there's big shifts happening. Sometimes it's calm for us to relax and adjust. Sometimes there's big waves. And you'll notice on a larger scale, like if you look at what's happening with Earth, there's a lot of earthquakes happening. So that's a sign that shifting. So you'll know that's a sign that you're probably going to go through an inner shift, or you have been, which is completely normal. So close your eyes, just take a comfortable position. And I want you to connect with your breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just nice and easy focus. So we can check the progress of what's happening in our world. Just breathe in and out nice and slow. This is controlling our energy. This is mastering. Sometimes I know it's boring, but we're looking at it differently in here. We are tapping into our abilities. More than likely, you know you have abilities if you're on my channel or watching my videos. You know that there's more to life than what we see. So you're tapping into that. You're tapping into that higher perspective. You're putting life out here so you can see it for what it is. You're not absorbing it and taking it personal. But when we go through these shifts, and you're just raising your vibration and receiving higher frequencies. As we go through that, it's overwhelming. It does feel heavy. Sometimes stressful, confusing. That's okay, it's all part of it. But all those feelings will dissolve. But mostly just focus on checking the progress within your inner world. If it's feeling heavy and it's a lot and overwhelming as you go through the shift, refocus, go do cardio, go have fun, go eat something good, go sit down by water, take a shower, clean your house, get rid of old energy. Just focus on things that you should be doing to take the focus off of the shift and the overwhelming feelings and emotions sometimes that it does bring, okay? So it helps you release and shift with it. Those things help you just shift easier, because sometimes it does feel hard. That's okay. It's not supposed to be easy, but it is supposed to be simple. We just make it a lot harder than what it is sometimes, because we might be focused on what's going wrong, or oh, we're getting sick. You're probably not getting sick. You're shifting, and it gives you those sick symptoms, okay? But a lot of the symptoms you might have went through in the past week or 2 weeks, you might have felt like you have wanted to self-isolate, pull back, step away from the world, really, really connect with you and what you really want and what you really want to bring to the table. What really drives your fire in your heart? What's really a priority? What's the most important things you're focusing on and what you should be focusing on? When you find yourself frustrated or overwhelmed being, in the world, sometimes you might be pulled into that energy a little bit too much, and you're realizing you got to pull back, make sure you're on a higher perspective. We don't want to get into those modes of complaining, focused on everything that's going wrong. focus on our relationships and our past and everything that's went wrong on that. No, we're focused on the current moment, on transformation. We may not be able to physically see the transformation, but we can feel it. We know it's happening, and we see the little things that are showing up on earth that are happening. We're trying to bring world peace, even though there's a war. There's a lot of turmoil before you transform. Everybody should know that. That's common sense. We are trying to bring that peace. Focus on that. America is a great place to live. If people are focused on how bad it is and everything that's going wrong, yeah, you can do that. Or you can step away from that perspective and see, no, actually everything's really great. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of abundance, a lot of love. You have to find it. Some things aren't for you and some things are. You got to find that. That's your test. It's not the country's test. It's your test, and that's what you're going through. You're going through personally taking accountability and leveling up when you fall short. So you might have showed up in one way and you're like, man, that doesn't really feel good. I need to pull back. I need to show up in a different way. We're not perfect, even if you have abilities. We all have to be in a human body. We all have to go through this shift. And a lot of us that have abilities, yeah, we're helping raise the vibration. But personally, for me, it's about getting people out of the dark, out of the mind. It's so hard. That's why we're going through these sessions of checking our vibration, to making sure we're not stuck in our mind. We're not stuck in a pattern that doesn't feel good. How do we get out of that? Little bitty steps of transforming, because we're learning all frequencies in here. We're not just learning about, developing peace in our life and boundaries. We're learning about love and realizing that everybody's learning. We're not here to call people out. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are falling short showing up. But how can you show up better? That's what you refocus on. You focus on being in a loving perspective and abundance and prosperity and big, and anything's possible. And of course, you're going to find your person if you haven't. Of course, your relationship, if you have a great one, is going to work. Of course, you're going to transform to your highest level. You're just not going to do that overnight, and you're okay with that. You're okay with not being perfect, because that's heavy. You're okay with just going with the flow, learning lessons. When you fall down, you get back up. And you see when people fall short of taking accountability, but we don't want to call them out. That's what you're going through with these shifts. You're going through these shifts of not just with, physically transforming your body and checking our inner world and calming it down. We got to make sure we're, showing up right and seeing through the lens of a higher perspective and with love. All kinds of people fall short, but it's all right. We don't have to be mean to them. A lot of our past didn't, align with us. People that are coming into our life, sometimes they don't align with you. That's all right. They weren't meant to be. It's meant to show you, where you're at and what aligns with you. It's your test. You don't call people out because they showed up short. They didn't show up how you wanted. You call yourself out. You check your own progress. Yeah, there's signs, there's messages, there's all kinds of things that you're learning and lessons through people and energy and the shift in the earth. But most of all, you're checking yourself. You're checking how you're showing up. Are you loving or being mean? Are you focused on the past or in the current? If you're a spiritual leader, are you really leading people out of the dark and helping them? Or are you just making them more confused? There's a lot of spiritual people out there that are in a loop of a trend, and we're not judging them, but we're seeing it for what it is. Just because you eat plants doesn't mean you're a good person. You know what I mean? Just because you have a great body and you eat healthy doesn't mean your mindset's good. I see a lot of people that eat healthy and their body looks good, but their mindsets are still complaining, focused on everything that's going wrong, calling people out, being mean, maybe unintentionally, maybe they're just, and that's what we all learn. We all learn to step back, and it's frustrating when people don't show up whole and full and in alignment with you, but that's not for you to control. They're learning too. Maybe they've only had one life here. Maybe they've only had 3 and you've had 7. Maybe they've had 10 and they're just not getting it, but still doesn't mean that we focus on that. We focus on, what are we learning? What are we gaining from that? How are we showing up? That feels so much better and lighter. And as high vibrational people, that's what we're checking when we check our inner world with this shift. Are we showing up light, even with ourselves, about money? Or are you falling into the trend of instantly manifesting? There's a lot of spiritual people that say they're spiritual and they're leading people, on these loops. They're putting it out in the future. They're always leading you, they're giving you that anxious feeling, and maybe they don't mean to, but it's your test. There's reasons why you don't instantly manifest, especially when you first start your journey, because you're not going to learn anything. Trials are supposed to be long for a reason, so you can learn. Obstacles are supposed to be there for a reason, so you can learn. If a relationship doesn't show up full, it's okay. What'd you learn from it? Don't be mean to that person. If they couldn't show up for you, that's okay. They weren't strong enough. Give them strength and walk on. They need to learn that in their life. That's where we want to show up and be loving and not be so trapped in the trends and being on this spiritual journey of loops. We need to really be focusing on, how are we showing up now, how everybody else is. How is our shift matching the earth shift? Okay, the earthquakes are happening. We know the earth's shifting. Well, there's going to be a shift within. How are you handling that? Are you handling it with light and love and patience along with everybody else? Are you focused on how you're showing up or how everybody else is? We prioritize, simplify our life, and really show up for ourselves in this lifetime and not overpour into everybody else, even our focus, right? That's what we're learning during these shifts, is to really pour into ourselves so we can show up. Yeah, we can guide people, but we don't need to overdo it. There's a lot of psychics out there. There's reasons why we don't know the future. So a lot of people want to predict. Don't get in that loop. It's okay to, maybe do it for entertainment reasons or do it once in a while just to see, if the future can be predicted just a little bit. But you don't want to get trapped into that, or the tarot readings of what everybody else is doing, what's your past person doing, who's in your energy. If you were supposed to know, you would know. That's why you don't want to get your focus lost in all the noise of the spiritual stuff. Yes, there's tools for a reason, but there's reasons why you don't know answers, because you're supposed to be focused on what's going on right now. That's what's important. Okay? Yes, can you do it for entertainment and fun? That's okay. Just don't get lost in it, is all I'm saying. Because you'll get pulled in those. It makes you anxious. Just think about how it makes you feel. Okay? If you knew the future all the time, probably gonna make you anxious. You might be focused on the future a lot, right? But when we just know what we're supposed to know that day, it helps us just focus on right now. And when you're broke and you don't have any money, that's all right. You don't let that affect you anymore. There's a reason why you don't have money. It's noise. That's a false sense of power. It can be taken at any time. And you could have all the money in the world and you don't even know how to heal yourself, and you'll just go to the doctors. So you're learning all this during the shifts. You're learning this information as you go through. And you're learning from different perspectives to see, hey, does that resonate for me to help me grow and help me raise my perspective and give me peace and light to help me show up better for myself so that I don't feel heavy or overwhelmed even during the shifts? Is there other people going through what I'm going through? Okay, just notice what is going on with your thoughts and feelings as you do transform, because it does kind of feel like a roller coaster. You're not here to be perfect. If you fall short, just say, hey, that doesn't feel good. I got to do something. I got to show up better. If I'm a tarot reader, I really want to help people focus on really what's important. Maybe not give them healing advice and all this stuff that probably isn't relevant. Maybe just focus on, hey, the entertainment, the fun part, and really be conscious of what energy I have my readers focused on. Psychics. I work with a lot of people who have spiritual abilities, and it's really great that you do, but just be conscious of, what energy you are putting out as a leader. Because there's probably people that might be confusing or leave you more confused and more unsettled than it leaves you in peace and light. That's why you want to be careful as a leader of what you are putting out, or when you are listening to leaders. Just use discernment so it doesn't turmoil your inner world. Confusion, anxious, focused on the future, focused on the past. When you do that, it throws your energy all off, okay? When you focus on just certain foods and your body's craving meat, and you're focused on what everybody else has told you, but your body's saying, hey, I need meat, and you're not eating meat, you're lacking on that because you need to eat meat. I work with people's higher souls all the time. They've taught me this. They have said that person actually needs to eat meat. The person may not want to, but when they do, they start feeling better, and they start, learning how to listen to what their body needs. So you're listening to your cravings, not the noise. If you want to be human, you can be human and cheat sometimes. You're not listening to the noise and being in this perfect spiritual circle. That's not how spiritual stuff is. That's not how God works. God is loving and light. He doesn't show up. The energy doesn't show up in a mean way. Judging, vindictive, revengeful, pointing out, frustration. Do we have those feelings as humans? Yes, but then we shift it up, right? And we dissolve that, and we don't put that out in the world. We all have bad feelings. The ones who have abilities, the ones who are really raising their vibration, really focusing on shifting their mind and getting out of that lower perspective. When you're doing that, you're really focused on the most important parts, because when you're shifting your perspective, your energy just changes and you show up so much lighter. It's easy to get frustrated. It's harder to dissolve that frustration and focus on the best part, right? The part where you're learning. So we're learning that during the shift. We're learning that about ourselves. I wanted to bring that up today so that we're not just learning about the physical part and, calming our body down. We're really thinking bigger. We're really seeing things for what it is. And we know everything's happening for a reason, and it's for better reasons. We are going to greater, awesome, more better vibrations, better way of life, more peaceful, more peace, more abundance, and more love for all. Does all receive that? Does all tap into that? Does all see that? No, that's okay. But that's your responsibility. That's your test. That's your journey to see things for what they are. That's your ability to be a seer. Use your intuition and your ability to self-reflect and shift and not put that energy out there. That's why we want to may not necessarily overdo it for everybody else and pull back and more pour into ourselves. Okay, take a deep breath. Sit on that. Hopefully that resonates today, helps you just go with the shift better, be more patient and understanding with yourself as you go through it and with others. I'll see you next session.